Ever wondered why if you leave bread out it'll eventually go dry and fracture upon impact or be able to be used as a weapon? But if you left it in a sealed bag it would stay soft for much longer? In fact, it'd probably go moldy before it went stale. What changed while it sat there? The quick answer is that some of the bread has dried out. At the surface, that is true. Bread can lose moisture to the air, and the crust can become noticeably drier. But staling is more than water simply escaping. A wrapped loaf can still become firmer and feel less like fresh bread. So the useful question is not only, where did the water go? It is also, what is the bread doing with the water that remains? When we call bread stale, we are grouping several changes together. The crumb becomes firmer. The crust loses its contrast. The slice bends less easily and the aroma becomes quieter. None of those observations by themselves tells us that the bread is unsafe. Spoilage is a separate question. If bread has visible mold, just throw it out. Bread is porous and will spread through the entire load like wildfire. Cutting the mold away won't do the trick. The ordinary change we are explaining is simpler. A normal-looking slice can lose its softness and flexibility while remaining recognizably the same food. Let's start with the moment the bread was made. Before it was a loaf, it was a mixture of flour and water. Flour looks powdery and still, but inside it are starch granules and proteins waiting to be rearranged. Then heat changes the mixture. Water moves into the starch granules. The granules swell, loosen, and begin to form part of the soft network that becomes the crumb. Proteins help give that network shape and strength. That protein network is one reason dough can stretch, hold gas, and then set into the shape of a loaf. It is not a separate layer sitting beside the starch. The two are working inside the same crumb. The result is not just flour with water added. Baking has built a new material, a warm, flexible structure containing starch, proteins, air, and water in a particular arrangement. While the bread is hot, that structure is soft. Heat has loosened it, and water is helping the parts of the crumb move around one another. That is why warm bread feels springy. The crumb is still in a flexible state. Cooling is not a hard line between baked and finished. It is when a slower set of changes becomes easier to notice. The heat leaves, movement slows, and the ingredients begin settling into new relationships inside the crumb. The important point is that this does not stop when the loaf leaves the oven. Cooling does not freeze the crumb in place. It gives slower changes time to continue. Some starch chains that were separated and hydrated during baking gradually move closer together again. They reassociate into a more ordered structure. In plain language, the soft crumb is becoming more organized and more resistant to being deformed. You do not need to imagine every chain moving at once. The important point is that a large number of small changes add up to a texture you can feel. Food scientists call this process retrogradation. It simply describes starch that was loosened by heat, gradually building firmer associations as the bread cools and sits. The technical word is useful because it gives this change a name. The important part is what you can feel in the crumb. The whole crumb does not turn into a solid block. The balance changes. There is less of the soft, freshly baked behavior and more of the firm behavior we recognize as stale. The slice can look almost identical while feeling noticeably different under your fingers. One part of starch, amylopectin, has a central role in this change. Central does not mean it is the only cause. Bread staling also involves water movement, proteins, temperature, time, and the structure of the loaf itself. That leaves the water. If the bread becomes firmer while some water is still there, what is the water doing? It does not all have to leave the bread. Water can remain in the loaf while changing which parts of the crumb it is associated with and how freely it can move. The same amount of water can produce a different texture when it is held in a different arrangement. That is the distinction between water content and water arrangement. Two slices may contain similar ingredients and similar moisture, yet one can feel springy while the other feels firm because the moisture is no longer interacting with the structure in quite the same way. As starch becomes more ordered, water can redistribute between the starch and the gluten-rich parts of the crumb. Some of it can also move between the crumb and the crust. The result is not one simple direction of travel, but a changing balance inside the loaf. That helps explain why a slice can develop a firmer center while the crust loses the texture it had when it came out of the oven. The bread has not become a dry sponge in one step. The places holding moisture have changed. Imagine the crumb as a small, busy room. At first, people are moving around freely. Later, some form tighter groups, and the remaining space is redistributed around them. Nobody has to leave for the room to feel different. The arrangement has changed. This is why drying out feels like such a good explanation. It describes something real. An exposed loaf can lose water at its surface, the crust can toughen, and the difference is easy to feel. But drying cannot explain everything by itself. It explains water escaping into the air. It does not explain why the stored slice can firm even though it was sealed, or why a loaf can have a dry crust and a changed center at the same time. A bag slows the exchange with the air, but it does not hold the bread in its fresh-baked state. Inside the loaf, starch can continue to reorganize, and moisture can continue to move through the crumb. So the bag controls one part of the change, not all of it. Freshness is not one property controlled by one process. There is no single switch that flips from fresh to stale. The experience depends on the bread's ingredients, shape, crust, moisture, temperature, and age. That is why scientists describe staling as multifactorial rather than giving one mechanism total credit. In other words, stale is a useful everyday label, not the name of one single event. The better answer has several parts. Drying contributes, starch reorganizes, water moves. Proteins and the original structure of the bread affect the result. None of those statements needs to carry the whole explanation alone. That is also why two breads can stale in noticeably different ways. A thin, crusty roll, a soft sliced loaf, and a dense sourdough do not begin with the same structure or the same balance of water. The mechanism is related, the texture change is not identical. This becomes useful when you store bread. Start by deciding which texture you are trying to preserve. A crisp crust, a soft crumb, and a low risk of mold are related goals, but they are not the same goal. An open loaf gives the air more opportunity to remove surface moisture. A tight wrapper slows that exchange, but it can also change the balance between crust and crumb. The result depends on the bread, the environment, and how long it is stored, not on one universal rule. That is why a wrapper can help a soft sliced loaf while making a crusty loaf lose some of its crispness. It is not choosing fresh or stale in one move. It is favoring one texture over another. Cold storage adds another trade-off. For some breads, lower temperatures can slow mold growth while making the crumb firm more quickly. That may be useful, but it does not make one storage place best for every loaf. So, separate the goals. Are you trying to keep the crust crisp, keep the crumb soft, slow spoilage, recover a texture later? Each question points to a different part of the bread's changing structure. And do not use softness, dryness, smell, or popularity as a complete test of safety. Texture is a quality question. Mold and other signs of spoilage are safety questions, and they need to be treated separately. If you want to test the trade-off, compare like with like, same bread, same starting time, same storage conditions, and one change at a time. You will not discover a universal law of bread, but you will see what your particular loaf is doing. Now press both slices again. The fresh control bends. The stored slice fractures. The fresh control bends because its starch, water, proteins, and air are still arranged in a softer, more flexible structure. The stored slice fractures because those relationships have shifted. Starch has become more ordered, water has redistributed, and the crumb resists the same movement. The sealed bag slowed the exchange of water with the air, but it could not stop the internal changes that gradually make fresh bread behave like stale bread. The test was showing a material changing over time. Bread looks still when it sits on the counter. Inside, starch is reorganizing, water is moving, and the crumb is settling into a new balance. So, it dried out is not exactly wrong. It is simply too small an explanation for what you are holding. The bread has not just lost freshness, its structure has changed.